Hello, Yukon 28209. Yes, this is Candy Matson.
We finally reached a point on this thing. I just removed the clamp, by the way, from this piece of veneer I've got in here. I'll have to grind it down now and drill a hole. It was really messed up in that corner. I had to do something. And you know, you don't want to just stick wood filler on there. That's, you know, wood filler is, if you use wood filler at all on these radios, I recommend that you use it very, very sparingly. Now, if I had some minor holes, say along this edge right here, or down in here, or one of these other grill work places, yeah, I might fill it up with a little bit of wood filler. And later on that gets painted dark anyway. So, but I wouldn't, you know, using wood filler on the front, or on the top, or even on the sides, I don't know, I just think it would be counterproductive to do that. But you know, it's your radio, you do what you want. You know, what you're seeing here, I have to repeat this over and over and over. All of the restoration procedures that you see, whether it be on the chassis that I restore or on the cabinets that I work on, you're seeing the way I do it. There are a million other ways of doing it. There are professional woodworkers out there to take a look at what I do and they want to puke. Well, I'm sorry. You know, those guys never put up videos to show us the right way to do it. It would be nice to see a woodworker take a cabinet like this and actually show us how to do it his way or her way, whichever. So we do the best we can. And that's what I'm trying to do. But all of you, once again, are expected to do better. So anyway, I'll go ahead and grind this down, re-drill the hole, but we're at a point where we have to start making certain determinations. I'm one of these guys who thinks that a cabinet, a radio cabinet, a vintage radio cabinet, should maintain some of its character. I don't want to make this thing look brand new. First of all, I couldn't do it anyway, and I don't have that kind of talent. And I don't have the right tools and all that sort of thing. But an old 70-year-old radio should maintain some of its character, to show some of its history, some of what it's been through. My favorite term you've all heard before, I want to maintain some of the battle scars, proud battle scars of a bygone era. You know, caused by our ancestors. We can tell stories about the little dings and bumps and bangs and dents and whatever that we decide not to repair. So we have to, or at least I have to, look at this cabinet and say, well, what am I going to leave and what am I going to try to repair? What's character and what's not? So we go through this thing, you know, inch by inch along the front and the sides and the back, and I see a dent right here. Now here's a dent in the wood. Now some people say, oh, I got to get that out of there. No, not me. That, my friends, in my mind, is character. That stays. Here's some veneer missing, okay, right here. I'm going to try to do something about that. That is not character. Up here, there was there's a gouge missing right there. I don't know how that got there. I'm almost certain it looks like a bullet went through there, so probably this radio might have belonged to one of the gangsters from the, you know, the roaring 20s and 30s, actually in the 30s, because this is a 1936, I believe. So it probably belonged to one of the gangsters, and you know, a bullet went through there when the FBI showed up and they were firing away. Anyway, here's another dent. Again, character. Here's another little dent, little tiny gouge. That's character. And down here we have a very small piece of veneer missing. We'll leave that. That's also character. It'll be hidden by the knobs anyway. I might try to put a little bit of filler veneer in here. That is not character. And let's take a look at the side. This is the way I evaluate a radio anyway when I do it. Now over here, there is a small slope in the wood right on the end right there. Now I could work my butt off, you know, replacing that and sanding it and making it. I don't want to do that. That, in my mind, is another piece of character. Okay? Now this crack will have to be filled right here. And that's how I evaluate a radio. So there's a few little tiny little lines and dents you can see here and there. All character in my mind. Now, of course, when you have a separation in the wood, I don't know if you can see that. The sun is kind of not cooperating with it, but there's a hole right there that needs to be filled in. That is not character. That's what I'm talking about. So, that's what I'll be working on. Incidentally, we have some veneer missing right here. Not character. There's some missing along this entire side right here. Not character. I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I may wind up cutting that straight across and laying a whole new piece in there. It'll be about the color of this right here when I'm done. But once we strip it down and stain it and put some toner on there, it'll hopefully cover it up. But like I said, I'm not a professional woodworker, you know. If these professional guys out there watching this don't like the way I do it, or they think it's incorrect, you know, I'm happy to send the cabinet to them. You know, go ahead and do it for me. Send it back. All finished and ready to go. I'll be more than happy to accept it. Of course, there would have to be no fee involved. Anyway, as hobbyists, you know, we do the best we can. But like I said, a lot of this is dirt you're looking at. A lot of dirt, a lot of crap. Somebody has put stain over it. You can see that the original color was a lot lighter than what was put on there at a later time. I don't know how it got that dirty. Anyway, we got some black lines that run down all the way. We'll have to redo those. There's one there and one to right here. Then there's another one that runs down. Now this cabinet from this line you see across the bottom, from there down will be very, very dark walnut. And the rest of this area here will all be dark walnut, all along this here. The front of the cabinet will be light, the rest of the cabinet will be dark. So wish me luck on that. Today I plan to make a peach cobbler in a Dutch oven and cook a chicken in a Dutch oven. So maybe I'll make some of y'all out there who have commented that my videos make you hungry. Some of my videos make you hungry. Well, maybe I can make you even more hungry. Well, I'm having some trouble coming up with the right thickness of veneer to run down this edge, or this front piece of grill work. This stuff here is just too thick, and I've got some other stuff over here that is also too thick, so I don't know, everything I've tried has been a little bit too thick. This is too light. I'm afraid that wouldn't stain up right. I don't think it would work well. It might. Now I do have the option of taking a small piece like this, which matches up pretty good actually, and maybe do a two-piece deal. No, you're doing it all wrong. God, I wish that stuff wasn't like that. Or go maybe from this point here up to here and kind of cover up the majority of it and then just leave the rest. I don't know. You know, someone with more sense would just go ahead and fill in all these little spots and then cut a brand new piece of veneer and lay over the entire front. And then of course just trim it out from the back and go with a whole new surface. But I don't know, you know, I have a really strong aversion to that sort of thing. I try to keep as much of the old radio as possible exposed. You know, there are folks out there that wouldn't touch it at all. They say, no, leave it exactly like it is. It's fine. You know, no patchwork. It's great. You know, this is an old radio. It's supposed to look like that. Now, you know, you get mixed answers. I'm not really certain what I'm going to do here. I don't know. Before it's over, I may, in fact, go ahead and put a brand new piece of veneer over the front. I don't know. You know, I'm not stupid. You know, I don't want the radio to look worse than it did when I got it. Big decision coming up on that, folks. I've opted to go ahead and strip that down because that stuff was all flaking off anyway. I touch it with my fingernail and it would just flake right off. So it had to come off. And I've cut one piece. I just don't have one long enough that'll work. So I cut one piece and it's already been cemented in. It's not dry yet. And I'll lay the second piece in right here next to it and glue that in place with some glue, and then put some plastic over the top, a sheet of plastic, and then a long piece of wood, and then I'll clamp it on each end, and that'll compress it down until it dries. The pieces are set in place, and if I wet it down, you can see that there's a pretty good color match there. Of course, we have the seams to contend with, but you know, right down the center of this thing is a wide black strip all the way down that I'll have to be putting in. And it's going to cover up almost all of this entire thing, you know, and I've been thinking maybe I could make it just a little bit wider than the original, just a touch. So there's not all that much of an edge showing, you know, over here. And of course the paint will cover up the remaining part. Well, at least that's the theory behind it all. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and wrap this video up here. Next time I will probably be stripping this baby. So stand by for that, and I appreciate you being here once again. This is John.
You are tuned for the stars on NBC.